morning, and thank you for attending this morning's ceremony and taking out the time to honor our fallen military heroes. For those who I have not had the privilege of meeting, I am Chris Shorter, your county executive here in Prince William County, and I am truly honored to be here with you this morning. At this time, if you would please stand, we will see the presentation of colors, and if you would remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. All right. Before we begin this morning, I would like to really just take a moment to recognize all of the elected officials who are here with me this morning. I will likely come back and do this again in case I miss anyone. I just, so appreciate that our elected officials are here and don't want to leave anyone out. Recognizing first our chair, Ann Wheeler, Supervisor Kenny Bodie, Supervisor Yesley Vega is here with us today. Supervisor Victor Angry is here with us today. Thank you. And Supervisor Margaret Franklin is here. Thank you for being here. We also have State Delegate Guzman here with us today. Thank you. Delegate Sewell here with us today. Thank you. And Delegate Rome is also here with us. And Delegate Torian is here with us as well. Thank you. We also have Commonwealth Attorney Amy Ashworth here with us today. Thank you. Senator Warner's office, Jackie. Sorry, Jackie, I don't see you. You are here. Thank you, Jackie. Please stand. Yep. And Congressman Spanberger's office, Christy Black, is here with us as well. Thank you, Christy. If I've left you off, Jacqueline Smith. Yes, Jacqueline Smith is here with us today as well. Thank you. Clerk of the Court. And again, if I've left you off, I'm happy to come back. I will have a few opportunities to acknowledge your presence. As we gather to honor and commemorate the service of our nation's fallen warriors, I am reminded of a quote from Emily Porter that heroes never die. They live on forever in the hearts and minds of those who follow in their footsteps. Right now, there are 1.3 million men and women in uniform serving and defending our country. Following in the footsteps of our nation's heroes, the countless numbers of remarkable military families that are serving alongside them. We are all grateful for the sacrifices of our fallen heroes, and as we reflect on those sacrifices, let us also remember the importance of coming together as a community to support one another. On the country's war memorial, there are 145 names etched in stone. Those names serve as a reminder of the ultimate sacrifice paid by members of our own community. and the impact of those they left behind. Their families, their friends, their neighbors. Those names also serve as a commitment that this community will never forget what sacrifice truly means. So, on this Memorial Day, we remember those who have so gallantly served our community and country, and we renew our commitment to upholding the values that they fought for. May we forever honor their memory. At this time, I would like to invite our Chair at Large, Ann Wheeler, to provide a few remarks. Chair Wheeler.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. You know, we are gathering here today to pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. Memorial Day holds deep significance for all of us, reminding us of the selfless men and women who gave their lives to protect the freedoms we hold so dear and enjoy today. While we enjoy this long weekend filled with barbecues and cherished time spent with loved ones, it's crucial we remember the meaning behind this day. Memorial Day is more than just the start of the summer or a day off. It's a time for reflection on the immense sacrifices made by our fallen heroes and a moment to express our gratitude for their bravery and unwavering dedication. These courageous individuals hailed from various backgrounds, representing every corner of our great nation. They were sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers, sisters, fathers and mothers. They possessed dreams and aspirations. However, when duty called, they responded without hesitation, fully aware of the risks that lay ahead. We are indebted to those who have laid down their lives that we may live in a land of freedom and opportunity. They fought to defend the principles upon which our nation was built, liberty and justice for all. On this Memorial Day, let us not only remember those we have lost, but also extend our support to the families they left behind. The void left by their absence is surely felt every day, and it is our duty to ensure that their sacrifice is never forgotten. As a community, we must come together to provide comfort, assistance, and appreciation to these families who bear the weight of their loved ones' absence. As we honor our fallen heroes, we must also keep in mind those who continue to serve in our armed forces. They too deserve our gratitude and respect and support. While they stand on the front lines, risking their lives for our safety, let us hold them in our thoughts and prayers. We should advocate for their well-being and ensure they have the necessary resources to accomplish their missions successfully. During this holiday weekend, if you find the time, I encourage you to visit a hero's resting place and leave a flower, or perhaps visit our memorial in Freedom Park just behind you. Even taking a moment to remember those who fought and died to uphold the United States of America as a beacon of democracy in the world would be a meaningful gesture. Let us remember those who answer the call to duty, those who sacrificed for the greater good. May we reflect on the cost and blessings of liberty that their lives purchased. And let us not forget the family members our brave heroes left behind. Thank you all for being here this morning. And once again, on behalf of the board, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to those heroes whose selflessness help us make this country great. Thank you.
Supervisor Victor Angry.
Good morning, everyone. So I will tell you, because I talk a lot and I was working the room, no, Lex, stay there, you're good. My daughter's out here in the crowd and she has my notes. But this is okay because I get to go off script. And we are going to talk, okay? First of all, it's amazing how fast we got here again. 364 days have gone by and we're back to another Memorial Day. What I want to say about the significance of Prince William County and the ceremonies that we do is that we only started these in 2020. We weren't doing these before. And so here we sit with our fourth Memorial Day ceremony here in Prince William County. For the last 3 years, we've done them up the hill behind you, and I think this is very appropriate that we've moved here on this stage with this, setting. So let me just say how important this is for me. Every year, it's the one time that me and my brothers, I come from a military family, 2 Air Force and 1 Army, that's me, cool, okay? We sit down and we talk about all of those who lost their lives in service or who just lost their life doing service during their time they served. And it's a very significant weekend for us that we really sit down and reflect on that and recognize where we are now. There's a lot of trauma that comes with leaving the military. I can tell you that a part of me died after retiring and putting this uniform on once a year, and then talking with my brothers and sisters in arms and sharing some of the stories, and just, all of our folks on the motorcycle came out to just talk with us. My young Marine listening to his 2 years of service as a combat photographer, which is going to be a very interesting career for him. And then just talking about those that have gone on. And I want to say, to Chris Shorter's point, heroes never die. And we say that every time you say a person's name, they're back alive and you carry their life with you. And I want to mention 2 names that were so significant to me in my career that died during my watch of service. John Banks, Master Sergeant John Banks. He passed away from running one morning on a trail, had a heart attack, but no one was there to see him, and we couldn't find him. We had to find him. We started calling morgues at the end of the day and found him in a morgue because they picked him up off the trail but didn't know who he was because he didn't have ID. And that's the importance of CPR and the importance of being around and actually witnessing a heart attack, if you will, or. So that disturbed me the most because I always ran with him. And so to not be with him that day and then to not find out where he was until the end of the day and he's at a morgue and no one knew who he was very disturbing for me. The other guy, is my other Master Sergeant who took his life. Richard is his name. And he took his life, suicide, because he went through a divorce. And my troops knew that if his wife ever left him, they knew that he would take his life, but they never said anything. And I was disturbed by that because we know these types of things can happen, but we were a family in the military, and he took his life because of a divorce. Now, this is Memorial Day where we remember those who've gone before us, who's made the ultimate sacrifice, and we allow this day to be in tribute and honor and take a knee, as we say in the military, to reflect on all of the beautiful things we have in America right now, with what democracy truly looks like and how we got here to be that way. And so I urge you to, this weekend and on Monday especially, if you don't have a veteran in your life, trust me, there are many veterans among you that you never even knew. Probably wouldn't have known I was a veteran until I put this uniform on once a year. But I will ask that you take the time this weekend to understand truly what Veterans Day is. Yes, in the military, we love having our 4-day weekends because we get to take a break and have barbecues and have fun. That is a true, honest statement, but I will tell you that we reflect on everything that we have before us and how we have those things, okay? So I just ask that you take the time this weekend to really thank a veteran, talk to a veteran, hear their stories. We all have some sacrifices and things that have happened to us that are real significant, and this weekend is one that is honestly one of the saddest weekends. And you may see that in your veterans, and just talk to them, because trust me, we love telling our stories, and all you have to do is ask, okay? Now I get the honor of introducing the base commander for Quantico, and I'm just gonna simply say this. His name is Colonel Brooks. If you ask me what his first name is, I will simply tell you it's Colonel, and his last name is Brooks, okay? And that's how that is. So, Colonel Brooks, sir, if you will.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. All right, all right. Mr. Shorter was giving me thanks for being here. And I just wanted to say this out loud that, when it comes to Prince William County, since my arrival back in 2021, when I think of Prince William County, when I think about participating in ceremonies or events or just having the opportunity to come and speak to the board, I really think of you all as family. So I really appreciate the way that Prince William County has really taken Marine Corps Base Quantico underneath themselves, welcomed us into your communities, your schools, your churches, your businesses, and I really appreciate that. But let me start off by saying to everyone, Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
It is truly an honor for me to be here because this is such an important day. It is such an important weekend that we are about to enter, where we are to remember the sacrifices of all those service members, those great Americans who have made a decision at one point in their life to serve their nation, to stand for something much bigger than themselves, and in many cases, they have given the ultimate sacrifice. A nation that consists of an all-volunteer DoD force for quite some time now. I always like to take opportunities just to remind folks that teaching our younger generation and demonstrating, most importantly, the importance of pausing, gathering, and to pay a debt of honor and gratitude to those who did not come home is ever so important today, maybe even more important now. And this weekend, the last Monday of May, is certainly one of those occasions where we, as a grateful nation, will have the opportunity to pay our respects to those deserving Americans. For this weekend is so much more, as Ms. Wheeler has already mentioned, so much more than barbecues, baseball games, family reunions, and even, yes, the start of the summer season. Today is the day that we set aside time to reflect on those sacrifices of those fallen service members and how those sacrifices have given us the freedoms that we enjoy today, and in many cases, we take for granted. I know Memorial Day has manifested into different meanings for different families, but it is important that we keep and maintain the true meaning in front and in focus. Our way of life as we know it today is not guaranteed. And sometimes that is what scares me the most as a country. So it's so very important that we maintain these types of ceremonies as a reminder and demonstration to those who are following behind in our footsteps. When I think about service to this country, the call to service is one of a personal choice to an individual. It is one that is made for the love of one's country and a willingness to serve a common good, a decision that is made to put others before self, a decision that is made to protect a set of values that we as Americans hold so dear. It is a decision that is made that whether it's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, Coast Guard, and even Space Force, it is a decision that one makes to join a family of brothers and sisters with a common bond. And in some cases, it even comes down to a decision to die for them. This weekend, we will observe flags displayed, marching in parades, and speeches at various ceremonies, much like the one that we're doing today. And even though words could never be enough, our reflection on the sacrifices of these great Americans reminds us all that the very freedom that we enjoy doesn't come without a cost. It is a very high cost, and it is a terrible burden. This weekend reminds us of the solemn duty that we have to remember those who have given all. Let us not forget the sacrifices of those service members that extends far beyond the battlefield. It also lives on in the hearts of the family, friends, and the communities that they left behind. To those families of our fallen, and if there are any here today, I extend my deepest sympathies. I will end here by quoting something that President Ronald Reagan said at the end of one of his Memorial Day speeches. "Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you again for having me here today. It has truly been my pleasure to be here and spend this time with you. Thank you.
I really appreciate your presence and your leadership. We want to now hear from Tim Parrish, representing Chair of the, Veterans Commission. I'm sorry. Welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Madam Chair, supervisors, elected officials, and community members, good morning. My name is Tim Parrish, and along with 7 other veterans, I have the honor of serving on the Prince William County Veterans Commission, this year serving as its chairman. Our all-volunteer commission has the privilege to work alongside our elected leaders to represent the best interest of our county's vast and vibrant veteran community, and it's truly an honor. I want to stop for a second and address something that the Sergeant Major said. It's actually a beautiful moment that we find ourselves in right now. With everything going on in the country, in and around our community, in our businesses, our schools, there's elections going on. I'm so proud of this community, and I'm actually proud to be a resident of Prince William County, because it's in these moments where we pause, these sacred moments. We shed our titles, we pause campaigns and party affiliations, we slow the hustle of our business lives, and we in fact pause with hearts full of gratitude to reflect on the sacrifice of those warfighters who gave their last full measure of devotion. So many communities around us aren't doing this anymore, as the Sergeant Major said. But as the Commonwealth's second largest county, arguably just as busy as the rest of the communities, we still pause to remember, and I think that it's worth applauding our community for doing that. Inspired by an excerpt from President Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, a songwriter penned a song titled "The Last Full Measure of Devotion." One of the stanzas read, "In the long and honored history of America, there are names that shine like beacons in the night. The patriots whose vision gave us meaning, who kept the lamp of freedom burning bright. In the long and honored history of America, there are those that paid the last and final price, who were called upon by chance or desperate circumstance to make the ultimate sacrifice. A grateful nation bows its head in sorrow and thanks for guaranteeing our tomorrow. The last full measure of devotion." That's what they gave to the cause. Though they cannot hear our applause, we honor them forever and keep alive their story, pay tribute to their lives and give them glory. The last full measure of devotion. Beyond the call of duty, that was their deed. In the last full measure of devotion, they gave themselves to serve the greater need. And for those who did survive and came home alive, we join in praise of comrades who were slain, most highly resolved that these dead shall not have died in vain. And together as one community, that's exactly where we find ourselves today, collectively sharing a moment of gratitude to those men and women who, as one veteran remarked, wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. And as our community comes together for this event, I want to issue a challenge to everyone. Other speakers have shared words. 2 of my fellow commissioners are going to lay a wreath here in a second. We'll be moved by Miss Donna playing taps, and then we'll depart here and we'll return to our lives as usual. But our Gold Star families will bear the weight of loss long after we resume our normalcy. This weekend, many of us will attend barbecues and pool parties and enjoy a day off, while our families who have experienced the loss of a service member will shoulder the burden of sacrifice forever. And while it is a simple challenge, our challenge is simply to never forget, to strive to keep these families at the forefront of our hearts, and to always recognize that our departed service members who died wearing the cloth of our nation did so to provide for the endurance of freedom on behalf of the greatest nation the world has ever known.
Thank you, Mr. Parrish. I appreciate your leadership. We will now have the ceremony. appreciate your leadership, Mr. Parrish, and the commission for the ceremony. If you would now please join me in a moment of silence to pray, to contemplate, or reflect as a way to pay our respect and honor those men and women who died while serving in military service. Thank you. This concludes the formal portion of this ceremony. I invite everyone to take time out to go visit the memorial across the way. Appreciate Supervisor Angry acknowledging that this is the first year that we have moved the ceremony over into the plaza. And I got pulled aside a few minutes ago. We will make sure next year that we have a tent and that you all are not sitting in the sun baking. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate you, and please do enjoy the weekend. Thank you.